Good morning, everybody. How we doing out there? Who had a good weekend to report back to us? I see some thumbs up. Share some positivity. What's going good? Somebody put a deal together over the weekend? No deals?
I feel like the
Something
market
good.
picked up overnight because I think I
Oh,
scheduled 4 appointments just for this week yesterday. So it's been a little
nice.
crazy.
Awesome. Awesome. Great to hear. Great to hear. Anybody else? Angela.
Yeah, so kind of like Shaston, I think our buyers are finally returning here in Florida. Had a very busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday showing property. Got a deal under agreement yesterday and hopefully writing another one up today. So great weekend.
Cool. Anything to report on kind of how that deal got structured or anything unique about it, or just, had it been sitting? What happened there?
Yeah, it had been sitting for about four, no, excuse me, about 2.5 months. Went pending. Financing fell through, back on market. Actually, a Zillow call, go and show. He fell in love with the house and went in a little bit under ask and got 2% seller's concessions back using Semper Home Loans. So all good.
Hey, that's good. It's funny you say 2.5 months. I do my it's Market Monday, so I do my market research, and the stat was that December 2024 saw the strongest seasonal slowdown in nearly 2 years, with homes remaining unsold for an average of 70 days, up from 62 days in November. So, yeah, definitely cooled down in December a little bit. 70 days, exactly pretty much what that house was sitting for. But a lot of the expert forecasts here are showing some decent growth. Anywhere from 5 to 10%, I think, is kind of what we're seeing for numbers. So there's some opportunity there. I think the key when you think about a 5 to 10% growth, as far as if you didn't have your best year ever, if you're looking to step it up in 2025 and do more deals, 10% growth isn't going to cut it. Right. So I think a lot of what happened, we had a lot of agents have success when just the market takes over, right? So if I'm I don't know, I'm a 20 deal a year agent, and the market jumps, let's say 30% like it did during the pandemic, that's an extra six transactions. No, yeah, an extra six transactions that just fall into my lap. No extra marketing needed, no extra reach out, just because I'm going about my business, right? And if the market just does X amount more transactions, I'm just going to fall into more deals. So, when those types of things happen, that makes a real impact on your business. And I think what happened with a lot of agents is they're like, oh, I'm doing all the right things, when it really was just kind of a market change. And so a 5 to 10% change, let's say you're a 10 deal a year agent, and the market changes, there's 10% more transactions. That means you do one more deal. So that's just not going to cut it if you're looking to have your best year ever, right? We've got to make significant changes in our business. Something's got to change. I can't tell you, it is a rare agent that actually does the things to make the change. And we're in change mode, right? It's the new year. You should be setting the new goals and the new activities. But I can tell you, most agents, whatever they did last year is what they're going to do this year. And then however the market changes, that's what's going to happen to their business. Might go up a little bit, might go down a little bit, depending on the market. So don't be one of those agents, right? Because 1 out of 10 agents will actually make changes in their business. They'll implement a system, a process, multiple systems, multiple processes, and then their business is actually going to change. And you'll see that a top producing agent, they don't care about what the market's doing. They're still going to do their business and potentially have a better year. Right? And what I think is going to happen with what's happening in real estate in general is the best agents are going to start to pick up the majority of the business, right? Because moving forward, it's going to be systems and process. It's going to be AI. It's going to be tech enabled. So where are the areas that you are weak that you need to make some changes, install actual systems into your business so that you're running a business and you're not just kind of floating around, well, whatever the market does or what I does, the market's slow, so my business is slow. That's an excuse. There are plenty of agents, potentially agents on this call right now, that had their best year ever in 2024 in one of the worst real estate markets of all time. So you guys get to control your business, but it's the activities that you're doing every single day that are going to produce the results, or not doing every single day. So there's huge opportunity. You got a lot of agents exiting the business, right? And so here's the other thing that can really affect your business is when agents exit, right? So if the number of homes didn't change, we still do this many sales, or it goes up slightly, but 30% of agents leave the business, that business has got to go somewhere. And it's going to go to the agents that have the systems, that have the process, that are out there doing their marketing, doing the things. They're going to get the business. That's why you should be excited if you're in this business and you made it through 2024, right? It was a really, really hard year. As part of Market Monday, I usually take a look at KCM just to see what they've got out there. Let me just show you what they are pushing this week. I don't know if they do it every week, but this is what they're pushing this week. I shared the wrong tab. Dang it. That's what I wanted to share. This was just a nice little infographic of the potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years. Right, so the recommended, and I'll put it in the chat here, the recommended caption would be something like this. I'll just read it to you for those of you who want to buy a home but not sure if now is the right time, or what's to say, want to buy a home but not sure if it's worth it right now. Here's something to consider. Experts agree home prices will continue to climb for at least the next 5 years. That means buying later will only cost more. But if you go ahead and buy now, that rise in price means you could gain over $80,000 in equity in the next couple of years. I know this is a tough market to buy in, but if you're ready and you can make the numbers work, this is why it'll be worth it. DM me if you want to talk about strategies to make it happen. Right. So I love the little call to action at the end of this. These are the types of things that can make a difference. Right. We're not just posting to post. We're posting to educate, but some sort of a call to action at the end of these things. Because the conversion happens in these conversations. So we're trying to get people from scrolling to DMing. That's how we can start the conversation. So anybody using the KCM stuff, or are we using the call to actions? Do we like these types of things? They just make it so easy, in my opinion, to just get something out there. Good. Get this stuff out there and just try and get, people are starting to think they're on their New Year's resolutions too. Maybe this is the year that I stop renting, right? So I think people are going to start to come out of their comas this week, next week. The holidays are over and it's time to start going back to the normal routines. Anybody have any questions on that data? Obviously, like, nobody can predict that home prices are 100% going to go up, and the value of your home could go down. But this is just, you're throwing out there, the word potential is in there, and this is coming from Fannie Mae, right? So everything that KCM puts out there is backed by some real estate source. So they're not just throwing out, this is what we think is going to happen. Let's see what else did I have. I'll share this one. So this is a graph to kind of just show you guys what I'm talking about when I'm talking about inventory and the ability to have transactions. So this is tradingeconomics.com. It was published by NAR, but it kind of shows you a little bit about what's going on with inventory, right? And you can see, pre-pandemic, we got about half the inventory that we had pre-pandemic. That's crazy for basically the same population count. I don't know that the US population has changed that much in the past decade. I don't know, maybe somebody knows that data better than I do, but I don't think it's changed that much. If anything, it's gone up, right? So kind of crazy to look at these numbers. And I took a look at, okay, that's kind of your national or annual averages. What has happened, like just like what's the current inventory levels look like in the month of January, and we're at about 600,000. So which is off about 50% from what would be on the market. About 1.2 million would have been on the market pre-pandemic. So it's just not a lot of inventory out there, and so we need that little bit of a tick up in order to help us out. Rates have kind of just stabilized. If anything, they're ticking up a little bit. We're getting a little bit close to the average rate being about, I think it was 6.9. So it actually went up over the last week. So I think that kind of helps, right? If we just maybe could come down a little bit, get people moving a little bit. But I think it's also kind of settling in. This is where rates are going to be. We're not going to see 4%. You're not waiting to get those numbers. Not going to happen. So anybody want to just comment on this or questions on inventory or anything like that? The beautiful thing now is if you've got buyers that are ready, right? We've got to get them off the fence and tell them, hey, I know you're probably thinking about waiting until the spring. You might want to look now. We've got a lot of properties like the one Angela's just talking about sitting on the market for 70 days. Her buyer's probably got a pretty darn good deal on it. So, if you can get out and start looking now before the rest of the buyers come out, they're your competition. So instead of being sleepy, try and get these buyers to do something. We've been actively testing deal of the week now for 2 weeks on our entire database of leads, and we are getting a lot of bites on it. We're getting people into action, right? Even if that property, right? We are putting a deal of the week property out. We're doing it county based, I believe. So we're picking a property in each county and sending it out to a group of people that have looked for property in that county. And most likely that's not going to be the home for them. We're just putting it out there as a lure. Hey, just to see, hey, are you really thinking about maybe making a move in 2025? So has anybody else tried deal of the week? Do you have it running to your leads? Anybody want to share an experience there? How about just raise your hand? Give me a hand raiser if you know that Sharon wrote the deal of the week. The AI does the work for you. Right? If you don't have that piece of AI already loaded into your ChatGPT, please let me know. Send me a message. I will get you the link so you can add it to your ChatGPT. If you're even farther behind and aren't using ChatGPT yet, please, in the month of January, try and download the app. Try and start to use it in replace of Google and of your research. But try deal of the week, right? Have your leads, send something out to them, especially the ones that you can't seem to get into conversation. Just throw it out there and see what they say. The worst that they're going to do is they're going to unsubscribe. Second worst, they just ghost you. But the best case scenario is all of a sudden you get something in your inbox, some sort of a reply to it. Right? So this is one of those systems that I would love to see you guys implement. Just throw a property out there, do a little bit of market research. You may even know just from your showings during the week, right? Maybe that's the way some of you guys approach this. Take my showings during the week, right? I showed 15 houses this week, 25 houses this week. Which one did I think was the best deal? Throw it out. Hey, out of the properties I showed this week, I thought this was the best one. Let me know if you're interested. You don't even have to do any research. Just look back at what you showed during the week. I don't book showing, so I'm not sure how this works. But for those of you guys who are using Showing Time or using a CRM, do those end up in your calendar as appointments? Does that actually add it right to your calendar or no?
No.
It doesn't. Okay.
Not for
Those-
me.
Okay. Um, so I was hoping that it added it right to your calendar. Then you could just literally look back at your phone, see all the addresses, to just jog your memory. Go ahead, Lauren.
If you have a CRM that allows to input appointments, those, if your calendar is synced to it, do show up in your calendar. So you can see property addresses and clients that you had appointments for. So you can at least look back at, what properties you had shown that week if you're putting the right information in there. So a tool we should be utilizing for sure.
Cool. So I thought there was a way to do it. So maybe it just depends on which CRM you're using. That might be better, right? Like you guys know your markets. You know which one you showed that you're like, shit, how the hell is this thing still sitting there? This is a good deal. Right?
It's not linked to Showing Time either, Steve. So that would be another step. You'd have to put it into your CRM. And what you're saying is all good stuff, but it is another step.
Yeah. So if you log into Showing Time, you can't even see what you showed in the past week.
You could see what you've showed. You just go to what I've showed or
Okay.
showings on my listings and stuff like that. You can
Okay.
definitely go into Showing Time and see what you've done, your history.
Okay.
It's
So
just
that would
not
be
linked to your calendar.
right. So just one other step that you just, once a week. So, one of the two ways, just please try it, right? If you got 30 leads that you're just not responding, just do a deal of the week. If we can get one to respond, right? If we can get one. So if you did that for 52 weeks and you got one person to respond each week, that's 52 people that you got back engaged with, right? Can we convert 10 of those? Can we convert 10%? Convert 5 of them? 5 extra deals that you do in 2025? And I don't think those are crazy numbers. If we could get one person to respond to deal of the week a week, that gets us 52 people that we're back in conversation with. If we could convert 10% of those, we had 5 extra deals in 2025. What are we thinking? Can we do that? We can do that. I'm telling you, you can do that. Who's got something going on in a deal? Who put something together, got something weird that would be just good to share for the group? Tracy.
I didn't see anybody else going, so I figured I'll raise my hand. I have a deal in Connecticut right now. We went through home inspections, and we ran into a lot of repairs that were needed, and my client wasn't scared, so scared away. So we asked for repairs. Seller said it would be easier for them to just give a credit. So we're working with Jared to get some estimates on repairs for holdback or for repairs. So just waiting on the last things and the appraisal to get a holdback approved by the seller.
Yeah, I think, the thing to always keep in mind is almost always there's some way to finagle something to keep these things together, right? So a lot of times the credit's not going to work for the buyers, right? Maybe they need the money for something else. They need a closing cost already, right? And the seller's going, hey, I would love to make those repairs. I don't have the money to make those repairs, right? So then now what do we do, right? Now we can try and find a contractor that's willing to do the work and get paid out of the closing proceeds because that same seller has $100,000 tied up in equity, right? So just when you get into these situations, if you're darn close, if you know you got a seller that wants to sell and a buyer that wants to buy, have some conversations, bring it to this call and see if we can solve it. It's almost always there's some way to finagle it. It's maybe something, we've talked through a couple of things on this call, but bring them here and make sure these things don't die. Who else has got something going on a transaction? I know I just ran into something, and I think I knew this, and then I didn't come to mind when it actually came in front of me. I had somebody ask me for an appraiser, and I have my go-to appraiser that I recommend to everybody when they ask for an appraiser. So I recommended my appraiser, and the appraiser got back to me and said, "Hey, dummy, it's a commercial deal. I don't do commercial." Right. So I believe it's a separate license to do commercial appraisals. So there's just something to keep in mind. If you come across that, you're going to need two separate people that you're going to recommend, or at least have a resi guy that those guys, he said, "Hey, I have somebody that I'd recommend in a commercial situation." So I said, "Go ahead and just help my person out." So, yeah.
I have a situation, Steve, and I'm sick, so excuse my voice, but it was with a listing. So I took a listing on Bangor Street in Springfield back in, I want to say September or October. It's the first listing that I let the sellers bully me on a price when I knew damn well down in my soul that I should start at 335 and I would get them where they wanted to be. And I told them that. And like I always do, I'm very educated, with that type of stuff. But I let them win and they did the 350. Actually, Martin's on the call. He showed it too. But and I came in at the 350 and I let them have it. And it was tough. It was tough. It didn't go under agreement. I was on for like 31 days. That's killing my stats. It's killing everything. There's just whatever. So December 1st, I said, let's go off the market during the holidays. I said, and then after the holidays, we'll come back on January 1st. I'll price drop it just a tiny bit, and then we'll hit it hard again. So what I did is on January 1st, I put it back on market, but instead of back on market, I dropped it 5,000, which now we were at 325, right? So now we're even, have done a bunch of drops. Don't get me
Hold on.
wrong. Huh?
So you went from 350, and you have dropped it a little bit over the days.
Correct. I went
Okay.
down 5 every time. I mean, so
Okay.
I had gone down. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're
But
down 325.
but you got to the mindset, and that's the thing where people saw it's been sitting for 30 days and they think there's something wrong with it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like, it is definitely a steal for someone. So I went down to 325 on January 1st. I did an open house on Sunday. I had about 17 buyers. I have 5 offers, and I'm over where we even started. So it's just like it is that same thing. As we were going, my seller said to me, "Oh my gosh, we should have listened to you. We should have listened to you." And it's that whole thing. Like, when do I just push strong? But now I have this in my bank to say, "Hey, look at Mr. Seller. This is exactly what just happened to me." Like, I had to pull it, but so anyways, that's just my story.
Yeah, I love it. And so, I don't think you can push very hard, right? Because I think if you push very hard, somebody else just takes it at 350.
Right.
So all we can do is what it sounds like what you did. You educate them, say, "Hey, no problem. It sounds like you're going for the aspirational pricing strategy. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we can get 350 for this. I've been wrong before. Right? Just take one on the chin, let them do their thing, and now we got to go get a video testimonial." That's what I think, right? We got to get a video testimonial from this client, and it's something that you share on social. Hey, you know what? We just had this great experience with Chris. She told us we should have done this. We did this. It really hurt us. We chased the market. If you're a seller looking to list with Chris in the future, please listen to her and get aggressive with your pricing. Something along those lines. I don't know. Have ChatGPT write the script, send it to him, and be like, "Hey, do you guys mind saying this?" Or let them say it in their own words or whatever. And at the next listing presentation, can we use those video testimonials, right? This is Sharon's proof over promise, right?
Yeah, good idea. Great idea. I'll
Yeah.
definitely
And
do that.
do it. Get these guys to, right? Because what does he talk about? One of the best things I took away from the training that he did was, if you get that video one time and you fucking nail that video, you can use it at every listing presentation forever, right? And you can even, if you get a really good client, you put those 2 clients, you put that seller, "Hey, you know what? Not only am I going to show you this video, let me put you on a text with Jimmy and Sally," right? They'll talk to you about what happened to them. right? Let me connect you with the person that actually went through this before. And if you make the connection and they have the conversation and this is kind of what happened and we chased the market and we should have listened to Chris and they still decide to go with the aspirational pricing, that's fine too. But now it's just never your fault. When we don't have the conversation and we just, let the seller control the conversation, it's your fault. That thing expires in 6 months and it's gone. All that time and energy just gone. Whereas if we can just educate, we can have the conversation, we can have the proof over promise, and they still decide that, you can usually retain those listings. You'll get another 6 months, or they'll do the price drops, or whatever the case might be.
It was the first price drop I had to do in 3 years too. It pissed me off, this whole thing, totally.
Yeah. Well, get used to it because they're coming.
No way. You price it right, Steve. They're not coming.
Yeah, if you price it right, hey, if you can. But I just think, like, I don't know, 1 out of 10 people, they're not going to listen. Right? You might get 9 out of 10. You're not getting all 10 to listen to you. Maybe you can, Chris. Just some people are stubborn, and I feel like I lost listings because I was too stubborn enough to say, let's just go with the aspiration. I didn't have the language skills to say, oh, okay, it sounds like you're going with the aspirational pricing. Totally get it. All right. I don't see it in the comps, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the comps are wrong. Maybe, this, your great backyard is going to get us the extra $20,000. So let's give it a shot. Just know that we could sit on the market and then we could start to chase here, right? But it sounds like your timeline's okay with that, right? You talk to me about your timeline. You don't have to sell for the next 6 months. So if it doesn't sell in the first 30, 60, 90 days, sounds like you guys are okay with that, right? Yeah. So if it sits, you're good. Yep, we're good. Okay, let's go.
I think it depends where the referral comes from too, Steve, as always, because like if I'm getting a call and I'm one of 5 people, yeah, I kind of got to bow down. I got to do whatever it is they're going to want to do. Let them know I'm an agent that's going to tell you what you need to hear, now what you want to hear, but ultimately you drive the bus. You're in control. I'll do anything you want me to do, to a limit. But like I have a referral based business. So 90% of the people that come are referred from somebody. So I don't have that pushback as much as I do when someone's getting me off Google or something like that. So that's the other big thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. Right. And make sure everybody understands that point, right? When it's a lead, they're probably interviewing multiple people. And if you're going to be hard and try and get them to go with your pricing, somebody else is going to buy the listing, you're going to be in trouble and you're going to lose listings over that. Where the right language skills, the right pattern, the right expectation setting, you could have got the listing, yes, overpriced, aspirational, not overpriced, aspirational, and then just get it reduced and sell it over time. But when it's your buddy, when it's a referral, there was probably a little bit more hey, Chris knows what she's doing. Trust her. She helped us out on our property. Just let her do her thing. Then those people tend to listen a little bit more. So it's a great point. Anybody have something? We kind of dominated with a couple of different topics here. Does anybody just they need some help on a deal or a situation or something you want to throw on the table before I get into the training that's available today? Very cool. Let me just throw that up on the screen. What do we have? There it is. So available today, how to double your business with virtual assistant series. I've got a ton of experience. I think we have, 10 or 11 virtual assistants at this point. If anybody's thinking about a virtual assistant, take this class, reach out to me, let me know. Social media and marketing mastermind, CEO Connect. From listening to some of that CEO Connect or just seeing what some of the topics are, even if you're just a solo agent, top producer, those things can make some sense. Some of the stuff that gets talked about in there. Highnote.io series. I don't remember what this is about. This 3-part class series on high note will reveal the invaluable secrets that have propelled our team to stand out in today's competitive market. You'll learn how to leverage highnote.io to connect directly with buyers and sellers and gain insights into your clients, ultimately leading to more successful deals. Has anybody used high note or know what it does? It's like I've heard of it. I don't know what it is. Anybody? ChatGPT here says that it is a platform that provides tools for creating and sharing interactive presentations and pitches, particularly aimed at helping users build dynamic, visually appealing content. It's typically used for sales presentations, pitch decks, client proposals, and business development. So I think it's like something that you might get a lead and then throw out one of these presentations to, or maybe a pre-listing presentation that you'd send out to a seller. So if you're looking to get something that's just a little bit more visually pleasing, maybe high note is an option for you. What else did we have here? Sales Accelerator and the Ultimate 10-Step Listing Launch. So if you're looking to take more listings in 2025, maybe that's a session for you. So great way to start off the week today, guys. Appreciate all the input, a lot of energy today. Hopefully you guys have a great Monday and a great start to your week, and we'll get back after it again tomorrow. Take care.
Steve, do you have a suggestion for, I'll be the first to say I'm ignorant to ChatGPT. I only use it a little bit and you love it. Do you have a suggestion as where to like begin other than downloading it and playing it with it?
Right.
Which
I don't have a suggestion, but let me do a little bit of research and I will get you something on a good, like, kind of introduction, how to use it type of a thing. Because it's Lauren, what do you got?
So when I was super new to ChatGPT, Chris, my favorite thing to use it for was assistance with writing emails. Because I know we get into a lot of those situations where we kind of want to respond fast with like our feelings and thoughts out loud, but we need to be able to present them a little bit different. So I will write out my whole email. I will copy and paste it in there. I will tell it what kind of tone I wanted it to use. And I found that the best way to get started with it. Then as I got more comfortable, I was using it to just answer sort of every scenario I was kind of going in. But as an email usage, it seemed to be a really great place to start. I'm sure Steve can come back with some additional ideas for it.
That's awesome, though. Thanks, Lauren, so much.
Yeah. I mean, I use it for, you name it, Chris. I use it for it. Like, trying to think of some of the things like
well, I had an audit done of my Google whatever, my business, and the lady's like, use ChatGPT to write this, use ChatGPT to write this, do this. It was all ChatGPT. So
but even so, let me give you a good example, right? You paid her something to review your Google My Business page, right?
Yep, $75.
You could have gone to ChatGPT and said, "Hey, look, I'm looking to revamp my Google My Business page. Can you give me the top 10 tips on how to improve it?" And it would have just given you. If I'm you, try that prompt and see how many of those are the same things that she told you to do.
Okay.
And you're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, "Oh shit, I didn't even have to pay her that. I could have just put that right into ChatGPT and it would have told me."
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
I mean, the way to think about it is whatever you need to know on demand, right? Which is like, so memorization is just gone. It's not necessary to memorize anything.
Hey, so how do I get my 16-year-old to listen to me? ChatGPT's on that, huh?
In all seriousness, you could use that prompt. Hey, I'm struggling to connect with my 16-year-old son. Could you give me a couple of strategies on how I might be able to do this? 100%, it's going to give you a couple of things. You're like, that's really, really good, right?
That's
and
awesome.
The more detail that you give it, hey, let me tell you about my 16-year-old son. He's this, and this, right? He likes these things. And now, by the way, it knows all of that about your 16-year-old son. So the next time you go to ask it, hey, the last time you helped me about this, now I'm struggling with this, right? It's going to know, oh, that's right, he's 6, or now he's 17. Right. So you're building up like a repository of things that it just knows so that it can better answer the next time. So, and that's why I think it's so critical that you guys get started sooner so that it can start to learn these things about you. Um, so yeah, I
Last
mean,
stupid question. Is it
yeah,
just
yeah.
on your phone you use it, Lauren, or do you do it off the computer too, and Steve and whoever else?
I
Both.
always do it off my computer more. I prefer like the input method. I like usually mine are kind of longer inputs for text and things like that I'm using it for. I use it all day, every day. It's one of the tabs open on my computer while I'm working and doing everything.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah. I'll say the benefit on mobile is that you can talk to it, right? So you don't have to type in, and not just like, you know how on like you want to do a text message, you can hit the microphone and it does text to speech, right? It'll put it in there. This is just no, this is just talking, having a conversation. Hey, you're on your way to the gym in the morning and you're just like, hey, just curious what the weather's going to be like today, and can you give me the 7 week forecast? And hey, was there any residential real estate news that I needed to know about that happened in the last 24 hours? Is there any local news? I live in Westfield, Massachusetts. Any local news that I need to know about that's specifically related to whatever? And just you're just having a conversation, and it's just giving you whatever you want back. So that's the nice thing about mobile, is that it's like a interactive assistant that knows everything. Like, that's crazy. So
Thank you.
yeah. Anybody else? I'm happy to go a little bit longer because this stuff's super important if you're not comfortable with this. Anybody else just have any, just, hey, this is a dumb question. I love that that Reel had the training that was like Instagram for dummies or something, Instagram for normal people. Everybody's normal when they first try something. So I'm using a new piece of technology called Notion, which is like it's they refer to it as kind of like a second brain. It's to really help you with organization and AI type of stuff. But I feel like such a novice, and over the past week, I don't know, in the at least mid-level user now, but just playing around and trying it, and I'm making significant progress pretty quickly, but I'm asking stupid questions that like a regular Notion person is like, dude, really? That's your question? You couldn't figure that out? So yeah, go ahead, Meg.
So I've used Perplexity and ChatGPT, and I don't know. I'm just wondering what one you guys prefer to use for which, are there certain applications you like one versus the other?
For like fact checking, I tend to go to Perplexity. So like I use Perplexity for my give me the residential real estate news that I need to know about. And it, because the thing that I like about Perplexity is it'll give me the answer, and then it'll also give me the 5 sources that it pulled from that are clickable. Where ChatGPT is just going to kind of give me the answer. It might give you, it might put the sources in there. It just doesn't do as good of a job, and I don't feel like it's as good at like on factual just stuff. So just like I want to know a fact, I'm going to Perplexity. I want to know how to better interact with my 16-year-old son. Definitely more of a ChatGPT. I don't know if that kind of helps. I'm kind of I don't know if I'm explaining how I kind of separate those things, but like the writing is much better on ChatGPT. Also, ChatGPT built in can do images. It can give you a response with links in it, which Perplexity can't. So Perplexity can have links after, but if you're like, hey, I want a table, thinking of something recently that I did. I want a table of the top Instagram influencers by category. So give me the top 3 people on blogs. Give me the top 3 people on that influence on YouTube. Give me the top 3 that influence on how to do a website creation. And then I want a link to their Instagram profile. I want a link to their YouTube profile, and I want a link to their website. Right? And give me that in a table format. So it can do stuff like that a little bit better, where you want links built into something.
Yeah, and it's nice too. When it does give you links, it like shortens them, right? So it's not putting like the huge long link. It'll be like click here for their Instagram, and it'll be something short, right? So that's awesome.
Adam.
Just a quick note for anyone with Xfinity internet service, you get a free year of Perplexity Pro. You just log into Xfinity, it gives you a code, you connect it to your Perplexity, and you get the Pro version. I'm not sure what the Pro version does because I pretty much started using it from the get-go, but just know that that's available.
Adam, that's Xfinity mobile or that's Xfinity internet?
Internet.
Internet. Okay.
I don't know that. Yeah, because you can't have mobile without internet. You have to have their service in order to get Xfinity mobile. So it's one in the same. Well, let me put it this way: you can drop your internet, but then they charge you more money per month if you're a mobile user. So you don't have to, but to initially get it, you have to have some sort of
Okay.
Xfinity service. It might be telephone service, internet. Sorry
Right.
for all you Westfield cable people. No go.
Hey, we love our Whip City, and it's also Russell going into Agawam now. Come on, $69.99. Well, it might be up to 80, I think, Megan, right?
I think it's still 69.
See, there you go. It's Netflix
Yeah.
that went up.
We have it in Otis too. It's definitely good.
Any other ChatGPT or Perplexity questions? And the other thing that just to force yourselves, guys, is just put it on the homepage of your phone, remove Google, and just force yourself to try it. That's how I started with it. Is just, and now I start most of things. I just try and replace the icon on my phone so that if I want to make a new change or I want to start using something, I just make sure it's front and center on my phone. Cool. Good session today. Let's get back after it tomorrow. Take care.